Adam doesn't understand.
What? I'm here with Adam, and I wanted to tell Adam a little bit about my favorite superhero, Doctor Strange.
It's not Captain America?
You know, it's not Captain America.
But you're dressed in red, white, and blue. It should be Captain America.
I am. I am dressed in red, white, and blue.
I can tell.
Yes, but I like Doctor Strange. He's my favorite.
Why?
Well, because he's magic.
So?
So, I think magic's pretty neat.
I can see magic at the parties.
Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
Those guys come in and they do magic tricks.
Yes, they do.
Can you do magic tricks?
I can.
Okay, do one.
Oh, I
You
can't.
can do it right now.
Well, Adam, I can't really do a magic. I would have to get ready.
You can't really do magic, can you?
Well, not right now.
I thought you could do magic.
Well, I can do. Oh, don't cry,
I
Adam.
wanted magic.
Well, can I tell you about Doctor Strange? He does real magic.
Sure he does. Just like you do real magic.
No, he does really, really cool magic.
Really, really cool magic.
Like he draws in the air and he makes patterns, and then those patterns can do things like throw up a shield or use a weapon or like to make things move with his mind. It's pretty cool.
I don't know what any of that means.
Well, have you ever
What's the movie about?
Well, it's about Dr. Stephen Strange. And
Dr. Stephen Strange.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And he's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
Yes, he is. And,
What kind of doctor?
well, he's a neurosurgeon. He's a brain doctor.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. He's a brain doctor. He works.
So he breaks heads.
He puts heads back together. Like if
I don't know if you can do that.
I can't do that.
Okay.
Well, he could though.
Why does he have a movie? That sounds boring.
Well, he gets into an accident, and
That doesn't sound good.
no, it wasn't
Not good at all.
No, it was not good at all. And he hurt his hands really, really bad. And
That's why you always wear seatbelts.
that's true. That is why you always wear a
My
seatbelt.
mom says always wear a seatbelt.
That's right.
Otherwise, you'll go to Hollywood.
Otherwise, yes, that's right. You would go to Hollywood, straight to Hollywood, and that's not necessarily a good place to be. But
She says it's a bad place to go.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go alone, certainly, but they do make.
You
movies.
would go with someone else?
Yeah, I would go with friends.
I'm gonna sit over here.
Okay,
I don't want to go to Hollywood.
that's okay. You don't have to. You could just stay here and listen about Doctor.
So what's good about this movie?
It's well, so he gets in this car accident and then he learns how to do the magic, and he helps save the world.
So he gets in a car accident and saves the world.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that
I
happens.
think I'm gonna pass on this movie.
But there's a lot of things that are really interesting.
Like a car accident?
Yes, like a car accident, Adam. But then,
Okay.
Okay, so you understand it now?
Nope.
Okay.
Can I go outside now?
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Adam.
Adam doesn't understand.
What?
Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPs.
I'm Katie.
And pants.
Who are you for real, Pants?
That's Dr. Professor Pants. I didn't go to 6 years of red pants school to learn all about it. If you'd like to hear more about
It's a
my
new
degree,
TV show. It's Dr. Pants.
Dr. Pants! He's not short with anyone. Wow. Anyways.
He's not who, what, or where. He's Pants. Go ahead.
Hashtag Geeks Corner to talk about my pants or anything else on your mind, but mostly stuff about Geeks Corner because that's what we know about.
So, like your beard.
I wouldn't. The subject's very close to me, and well, it can get a little hairy. I don't. Any biscuits? Hashtag Geeks Corner. Talk at us, peeps.
So, that was a very unsuccessful attempt to explain Doctor Strange.
Yes, it was.
In a new segment we're calling Adam Doesn't Understand. If you liked it, we'll do it again. If you didn't like it, we'll probably do it again.
Yeah, because it's entertaining for us.
So
Yes.
hold the phone. We got a Bailey meme already.
We got a Bailey
Bailey
meme.
meme?
Let's
Got a
throw
meme?
it
Bail
up there.
meme?
Let's
Bail-
see what.
Bail-
let's,
Bail meme?
Bail meme?
Bail meme?
To get it.
Bailey?
It is great.
Memely?
It's great, huh? It's
Memely.
that
Memely
great.
C.
Meme.
He's making memes right
Not
now.
in the cheese reference way.
It was a good
There we
meme.
go.
All right, here comes the Bailey meme.
I like him.
Oh yeah. This is the
Maybe.
best lead up.
My grandson is wearing red pants. He should have been wearing those Technicolor dream pants I made him.
Bring me my collar pants. My amazing
I think you need to sing it in,
color
like, never
pants.
mind, I don't want to know. Wow.
I am Cameron. Oh.
That was Grandma Cameron. That's what it says right there. It's
Is it
Grandma
Grandma-
Cameron
is that what I've officially
was
been
winning.
dubbed?
So what,
So I-
why were you a grandma?
I was playing Candy, the German witch, which takes Hansel and Gretel and puts them in a stove.
So Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
We already have a tweet on Doctor Strange from William Fonda who says, Adam, I watched the movie and I'm still not sure I understand. So would you give a brief overview of what Doctor Strange is about?
Doctor Strange.
In a way that you were unable to do with a 5-year-old kid.
Now we've started a bit. Doctor Strange is a neurosurgeon. He breaks his hand. He's also kind of a jerk, but in the process of learning how to fix his hand,
How did he break his hand?
By falling off a cliff in a really nice car.
Why?
Because
this is your safety
done.
moment. Safety moment. Come on, it was in the credits. Did you not catch this either time you've seen it?
Well,
I
as
saw
far
it
as like why he
last
fell.
thing.
Last things.
Yeah. Don't drive distracted.
Don't drive distracted.
Yes.
Safety
Which, by the way,
tip to everybody,
and
don't
now
drive
that you've
distracted.
said that, because I read that and it seemed out of place, but now it makes a lot of sense.
And that actually was one of the things I really enjoyed about Doctor Strange is they set up jokes early in the movie.
There were long jokes.
And there were some really long payoffs in this movie, which I love those kinds of
Yes.
things. Because it was like, oh, that's funny in the moment. And then 45 minutes later, you see the real punchline. Anyway, talk about this movie.
So, Doctor Strange learns the mystic arts from the Ancient One in Nepal, and becomes becomes a sorcerer, becomes a wielder of magic. As they say in the film, the Avengers protect from more physical threats, and they look a little bit beyond that. Yeah, it was a very enjoyable film. I liked it a lot.
Okay, where do you think they hit and where did they miss? Do you have questions on this, by the way, since you didn't see it?
Nope, I'm just gonna sip my coffee and listen.
Okay, you do
Well,
that.
I enjoyed a lot of it.
Mhm.
I thought they did a very, very, very good job with the film, and it is pretty much my favorite superhero, so I went in a little biased for the record. I thought they did a great job sticking close enough to the comics that it was enjoyable for comic readers, but they made the content approachable in what is a very convoluted storyline and made it approachable for somebody who didn't necessarily know anything about going into it to be able to understand it, which I think was their biggest win for this. Negatives were really nitpicky. Some of them were just acting choices. For example, giving Benedict Cumberbatch an American accent
Bad choice.
was a bad choice.
Very bad choice.
It slipped through quite often. But even like something as garish as that can be, that it still didn't take away from the movie too
It didn't
much.
ruin the movie.
Yeah, but they could have just left him British. I mean, Doctor Strange is an American in the comics, and it's kind of integral to the fact that he's involved in New York, but he could be British. I mean,
I think that would have been less distracting,
It
to
would
be
have been,
completely
yeah.
honest. Because it wasn't a bad thing, it just was a distracting thing. And it wasn't all the time, it was just certain times you're like, wait, what? And
that's such a little thing, and that's I can't emphasize enough that we're having to dig pretty hard to find.
well, my
something like
biggest
that.
nitpick actually wasn't his accent. It was the soundtrack.
Really?
Yes. This soundtrack, listen to it, and try not to think about Star Trek. There were so many moments where it sounded like they lifted it right out of Michael Giacchino's Star Trek scores, and I always like to grab the soundtracks off iTunes and then listen to them on the way home and just kind of evaluate them after I've seen the movie, so I don't get spoilers from the track names. And I literally got out of my truck after listening to it for 15 minutes or whatever, and started whistling Star Trek. And the moment I did that, it was this like, oops, and like there's moments that are pretty cool, and like there's some moments I liked in the soundtrack, but overall I'm seeing a trend where a lot of these soundtracks are sounding a lot the same, both orchestration and just the way he's putting them together. And this might be controversial, I don't know, but is it?
No, I mean
Okay.
it's a fair point, and this speaks to a more overarching problem I think in music composition for films, is that they're becoming very similar, I guess. I mean, there's a better word than that, but it's...
Well, I think he's putting out too many soundtracks too quickly. Like, he's just banging them out there one after the other. And he went, I mean, I don't know how many he's done this year, but I feel like we know he did this one. He's working on Rogue One, which was a last-minute addition. He did Star Trek, which came out this summer. So that's at least 3 movies this year. Did he do the Pixar?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Not
Well,
sure on that.
that's
He might
what's-
have done Pixar this year, but like, go ahead.
That's the success of the Guardian soundtrack. It's the reason it was so successful is it was familiar, but it was so intentionally different than what we're seeing, and all they had to do was just use old movie. And I think it's the first soundtrack to reach number 1 without an original song in it from a film.
But
That
it was
interesting.
fun.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're following in line with that
He did
for
do
the next
Pixar?
film.
Yeah.
Oh,
He did do it.
so he's been
Yeah, I
busy.
thought he did. Yeah, so that's what, 5 movies this year, and I just think, and Inside Out, I think was by far the strongest soundtrack he did this year.
It had a strong theme. It had a memorable.
Yes, and my biggest critique with that is I would have liked to have seen more unique themes for each character, as opposed to one strong theme that you keep through the whole thing. Has anybody tried to listen from beginning to end the Inside Out soundtrack?
No. And he did Zootopia too, which
And
was this
Zootopia.
year, so.
You're right. So
Wow.
is that 6 he did this year?
Well, Inside Out was
Inside Out was
last
last year. But
Oh, you're right.
Zootopia
Zootopia-
But
Utopia
still,
is the one I
all
was
of those
thinking.
stack on top of each other as far as being made. That's
Right.
a lot of
Good
work.
golly, Miss Mom.
That's a ton of work,
Yeah.
and obviously it would be hard to keep everything unique and different. William Fonda says, I really just need to see this again just to understand it. That's a good idea. And there's something going on about cottage cheese also that I'm missing.
So, I got a note.
Yes,
So we got Martin Freeman
Martin Freeman.
in the universe.
Yes,
Now we have Benedict Cumberbatch.
yes. But no crossover because the universe might explode.
Also, speaking of accents, Martin Freeman also botched the American accent.
You're right.
Yes, he did.
You're right.
It was
Well,
the
he
word
did
blunt or
botch that
something. It
accent.
was just one word. Everything
Yes,
else was
I
fine.
remember.
One
I
word.
remember
It was
walking
kinda
out. What? You're right.
So,
But
So the moral of the story
Sherlock
is
people
let
can't
British
be
people be
American.
British.
let the British be British.
Yeah.
Work on Sherlock, don't try to be American.
Keep to the
Yeah.
kings. Good English.
Just a couple more months, Sherlock will be here. It'll be fantastic. So what would you rate this movie?
What's our scale?
Nod, hat tip, or negative?
Is hat tip the highest?
Yeah, hat tip is the highest.
I'd give it a hat tip.
You give it a hat tip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cape Twirl.
Cape Twirl. So
Cape Twirl.
let's talk about
The
that
cape,
for a
the
second.
cape was fun. Go ahead.
And this was a discussion I just had. So I went and saw the movie again today because I really enjoyed it.
Only once?
I know. And I was having a discussion with our dear friend from Don't Worry About the Government, and our
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Now I'm really worried about the government.
Our consensus was that there's a lot of CG in a lot of films, but it's difficult to do a single CG thing well. There seems to be an oversaturation. There is a lot of that in Doctor Strange with whole cities being destroyed, but the cape, this magical cape of levitation, is such a character by itself, and it's such a simple thing. I mean, it's patterned, but it's basically just a red fabric. But they animate it so well. They give it so much versatility in the scenes that it was really, really enjoyable. And you don't really see that
Without going over the top, too.
Yes, exactly.
Because that could have been something where it became too gimmicky, and that's always a critique of mine with these types of movies, is where they have something that started out cute and it's a good gimmick, and rather than leaving it as just a gimmick, they make it a central part of the movie,
yeah.
and it's just like, I hate
Yeah, the couple of
over
nods they do,
gimmick.
and one an early thing with it when the cape fights the random Goonie number 3. I had a very similar visceral reaction that you have for like the Hulk in the first Avengers when he grabs Loki and swings around. It's very similar to that, but you're just like, oh yeah, that's cool. But I'm like, that's a piece of fabric doing that. I have an emotional
To random
relations-
Goonie number 3.
Yes.
It was the best animated inanimate object since the magic carpet.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
and
and it
I've
was
heard
great.
that comparison
Yes.
before. I think it totally is. It's the next version of the magic carpet, which I'm sure we'll see again when live action
Can't wait to see the
Aladdin
musical
appears.
Hyperion about his,
I would love to see a Doctor Strange stage show in
I'd
the
love seeing an
Hyperion.
Avengers stage show. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of saw that one. Was that last year, Tyler?
Oh, the
Remember
Marvel.
when we went and saw Marvel?
I wasn't there for that, so.
I thought it was the 3 of us.
Nope.
Who
It
did
was
we go
Chris, you and.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah.
Yes. You should have been there.
I agree.
But
Next time.
I don't know. I go again. No, I'd love to see a Doctor Strange show in Hyperion. But-
And I'll reemphasize this for as far as watching the film. 3D is worth it. If you don't normally do I don't normally like 3D over just seeing it regular format, but I've seen it twice now in 3D. Both times I really, really enjoyed it. It adds to the film rather than distracting from it.
However,
Absolutely.
if you get motion sick, don't do
Yeah, don't do this if you get weird motion sicknessy stuff.
Because 90% of the movie is weird motion.
Yeah, very much so. And weird looks at some points to your weird images and stuff like that. So that makes
That's just Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, yeah. And then extra points if you know the second character that Benedict Cumberbatch portrays in this
You
film.
told me, so I don't
I know, you can't.
Yeah.
So this just a tease. Go think about it or look at imdb.com. But I thought it was interesting once I found out about it. Let's move on to another movie that's not out yet. Beauty and the Beast. This week they released some new images that give us a better look at what we will be seeing when we see this new musical next year. And you get to see the Beast, and you get to see the what are they? The characters. Cogsworth, Lumiere.
The inanimates.
Yes, that's what I was going for, but I couldn't really grab that. What do you think? Let's start with Beauty and the Beast. What do you think of their look? We get to see the yellow dress, and we get to see the Beast.
What do you think, Katie?
No, it's fine. I've been ignored for the last 10 minutes. It's fine. I don't need to talk. Who? Katie's here? I thought it was just... Anyway, hi. No one can see me, but I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
So was the dress black with blue stripes or white with gold stripes?
Why
Am
would
I-
you go there?
Am I right?
Okay, Beauty and the Beast.
I'm excited for her blue dress. I think it looks really nice. Less excited for her yellow dress. It didn't really blow me away. But yeah, I think it looks really cute. And I'm more excited than I was before these came out. So
What do you think of the look for Beast?
I'm eager to see him in motion.
yeah.
That's my big. I think it's an interesting concept. I think it could work. I just can't picture it moving.
I'm totally with that. Yeah.
Is anybody else worried about CGI in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am massively worried about CGI.
Between Lumiere, Cogsworth,
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Potts.
Well, let's talk about them. What did
Beast.
you think about their looks? Now that we've seen them as what they're actually going to look like a little bit more.
They look better than the stills, like or
Mhm.
like the first
The stills
ones.
I did not understand at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, the first ones they released.
I'm worried about the character direction they're implying with some of the designs.
Go ahead.
Specifically, Cogsworth looks very unkempt, and it seems to be counterintuitive to the character they had in the cartoon, and I hope they're not diverging too much from the characters they have established, and I think they may be doing it just for the sake of differentiation, and it worries me when you're doing things just for that reason.
Mm-hmm. You're like, oh yeah, okay. I'm curious going back to, because I rewatched the trailer they released a while ago when I posted this. What do you think about the voices now that we've had some time to think about them a little bit longer?
I mean, if they're going
In particular, Ewan McGregor.
if they're going really French, it kind of works, but like it still feels really disjointed. Even with the French accent,
Is this another case where let the British be British?
very much so? Yes, because the French accent that he's implying that we're seeing in this is that there's a lot of range of emotion in the French language, and the way they're going, it doesn't seem to represent the characters well. But who knows? I mean, they could pull it
Are you
off
talking
perfectly.
in general all of them, or are you saying Ewan McGregor in
Specifically?
particular?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ewan McGregor is who we're talking
That's
about.
my
in the
biggest. I mean, a couple of the other ones sound a little weird. I mean,
Mhm.
Lumiere sounds Lumiere. Like that's it's.
I'm okay with
yeah,
him.
that one's
Like-
fine. But that's
He's
supposed to be like avant-garde, over the top.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, it's
In fact, I think I could hate every other part of this movie and like the movie because of Lumiere.
right.
I'm like, didn't really like it, but Lumiere was awesome. I'll
Right.
just stick with that because
He's gonna be your genie for this.
it's possible.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, it depends what his role is.
Cloak.
Yes, exactly.
No, that's the little footstool. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't speak and it lifts people up.
We also got our first look at Kevin Kline as Maurice. What do you think of that? Because
I-
it's a different look than
It
in
is,
the past also.
but at least that has the same feel. I mean, you can have things that are very different and have the same feel as something. It still looks like
and
Crazy
he possibly,
Inventor.
out of all of those actors, can do the best French accent.
And they're
we
probably
haven't-
not going to have him do it. Right?
We haven't heard it
Yeah.
yet, but he's done it in other movies, and it was pretty good. Did you have any thoughts on that? I'm like, no, I just like the pictures. They're okay.
I just like looking at pictures.
They're wearing blue. I'm wearing blue. It's okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I like the blue dress the best because
Blue.
I mean,
Blue.
my biggest impression overall is that when they first arrive at the castle, everything's supposed to be very messy, so I can understand a disjointed and cluttered feel.
Mhm.
But it seems like every picture and every situation has this like grime built into it, and it seems like an aesthetic choice just as an overall tone, and I'm not sure if I'm cool with it. Like, again,
Don't worry, it's all digital.
Yeah, these things could all work.
Don't
I
you
mean,
worry.
honestly, they could, and it could just be that the pictures are throwing me off. But I mean, who knows?
So, what do you predict when we're talking about this film after it's been released next spring? 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down, sideways.
I feel at best
and down.
I'll be like, oh, well, I enjoyed watching that, but I don't need to see it again. I feel like that's my top right now.
Okay.
yeah, it's either that or I'll be indifferent, and I really don't want to be indifferent.
So you think it could be this or this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's almost a bigger problem to talk about. With not having a strong reaction either way to this type of film and just kind of feeling milquetoast about it. I think that's the biggest worry that I would have because if you're just not doing anything with it,
See, and I think it's going to be a more extreme reaction. I think
I would almost
because of
appreciate that
the
more.
team that they've brought in with Alan Menken returning and is it Bill Condon that's doing this, directing it, I feel like we're going to absolutely love it or we're going to ridiculously hate it.
Yeah,
And
I mean, we like the people that are involved in this.
Mhm.
Like, there's some great talent doing this.
But that's sometimes the times where you mess it up the most because like we have so much talent that we didn't use, or they overuse it and it ends up being ridiculous in that regard as well.
Right.
So milquetoast responses, huh?
Yeah.
Is that what everybody else thinks too?
Still have hope for you, Disney.
Nobody
Again,
cares.
I have hope. I don't want to be indifferent, but
That's exactly it. I would prefer to hate it if I'm going to
Yeah.
have a reaction. I prefer to hate it.
Okay. Looking online, it looks like Bailey's excited for Beauty and the Beast. William Fonda is not. He doesn't like the
Nonsense
looks.
says Lumiere might be the only reason I see Beauty and the Beast.
oh,
Okay, that counts.
Does
That's
count.
good. And that and Bailey doesn't like Ewan McGregor's accents either because they sound like Madame Giry's French accent in the 2004 Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Both
Yes.
equally
These
bad.
things do happen. That's what
Yeah.
she sounds like.
I think she had a marble in her throat or something. I don't know.
I think she makes up the
Oh,
frog
with the
spray.
salt. Yeah, that
Well,
must.
I'm not sure how well you could hear this on there, but Tyler just affronted a bad French accent as a good Jamaican accent.
That is true.
Yep.
That's very. And he knows exactly what I'm thinking.
yes.
Yes, that's exactly what we're gonna. What
Artiste Violet?
Artis is coming back. Hopefully, that would be amazing. We really need to have Artis back.
Yeah.
Don't make promises you can't.
I'm saying it would be amazing.
Expensive to get here from Jamaica.
It is. It's so expensive, and he does not come easy. He's
World
difficult. He's world renowned, and he has
World
better places to be than.
But-
I don't know. Has he ever been to this Geeks Corner?
No.
He's never been to this set. We need to fix that.
He probably had the old one trying to figure out where we went. I'll have to sign up.
He's looking by the beach probably, but.
Aw.
Okay, so final topic for tonight. Disneyland is moving its security checkpoints on the downtown Disney side of things to encompass downtown Disney. And my first thought of this was like, okay, that makes sense to me. But then I went online and discovered it's controversial. So the
Shocker.
everything's controversial, right? So first off, is this a good idea or bad idea? Who wants to start?
I'll start. It's
You
a good
will
idea.
start. Good.
It's always kind of been in the back of my mind. It's something I've tried not to pay too much attention to, but the lack of bag check security in downtown Disney has always concerned me, and I know that there's a lot of security officers around, and so that's kind of why I've always been, okay, well, it'll be okay. But I do appreciate the fact that they are moving it to encompass Downtown Disney. I feel like it'll be a safer guest experience. Who cares about making lines longer if we're all going to be safer? Like, that's what it comes down to for me. This is like, I'm having a very intense reaction, but I really, like, I'm serious. I think it's important.
No,
And
you're
her
right.
eyebrows went up, so you know it's true.
Very serious.
Go ahead.
Well, and very similar to that. My first reaction was actually a bit more on the negative, just because my first glance was like, "Oh, this is going to increase wait times by a lot on that side of the park." But it's a very valid point. Disney is Disney because it's safe. You feel secure when you're there, and if they can extend that security to include Downtown Disney, which is a very popular destination for locals, whether or not they're going to the park, I think that's a valid reason to do it. Moreover, I think the process, once it's streamlined a little bit, actually is going to help alleviate things because it's going to require a little bit more on-the-ground action from our security, which more security means more entrance points, which means more dispersion of people actually coming to the park, which ultimately means people will be getting in quicker. Thought?
Okay.
I like being able to go to Downtown Disney.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing, is being able to go. I mean, we go to Earl of Sandwich pretty much every Sunday,
It's a
and
weekly
we
thing.
now no
That's-
longer have to go double
wanted
through
to go to Earl's
security.
the other day, but the reason
We
I didn't
didn't
go
wanna
is I
go
didn't
out of the
wanna
park.
I didn't want to go through security.
And that
Yeah.
security line on that side is often very long,
Mhm.
and I think there's the convenience factor for those people in the park that want to go to Downtown Disney, which is great. But at the end of the day, it does come down to security, and like, you're going to get in a line somewhere. Why not keep more people safe?
Well, speaking of lines, I don't think it's going to make it worse because you're making, 3 entry points now?
Well,
So
there's more entry points, I think. Yeah, I think there's more entry points, so it could potentially shorten the
because
lines.
the trams are going to get checked there.
And
Yeah.
the flip
Where you
side of
go.
that is that you'd have more people because you're including the Downtown Disney flow, but there'll be the tram checkpoints, so from Mickey and Friends, which is one, and then Downtown Disney will probably have 3.
There's ESPN,
ESPN,
Earl and ESPN.
the one between Earl, and then also from the hotel,
Mhm.
the Grand
Rainforest
California.
ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be 3 entrance points. So really, I think it'll probably balance things out a
Yeah.
bit.
The real
and,
trick is just going to be knowing flow, and of course Disney's going to be on top of this, that when they have Mickey and Friends open, they need to have a lot of people over there working at that time.
Yeah.
And
Well, and that's the one I think that could be the most interesting, is because you could really get a bottleneck getting out of your cars and coming down that
They're
escalator
already
unless
working
they
on
have.
building that one right now, too.
They're working on that one already. Okay.
Oh, really?
And
Oh, wow.
so there could be. I mean, I see a lot of opportunities with this, and anticipating new Star Wars stuff coming, and whatever comes after that. Like, I think it's a smart move, and safety is a good idea.
I'm excited to want to take the monorail again without having to think about going back and forth through
Right.
security. That's my biggest.
Yeah.
I can ride the monorail, go downtown real quick, and then hop back on. It's much more appealing.
That'll
knowing
just
you
be
don't have to do
the line for the
Yeah.
monorail instead
Yeah.
of the line for security, followed by an even longer line once you realize you got up the stairs. And you're like, oh, man. Like, how many times have you done that? You wait through the line of security, then you go up and you come right over the...
And miss the monorail. Because
And then you see the line super long, and you're like, oh, I just wasted 2 lines because I couldn't see the second line.
I just realized we're also getting another parking structure. So there'll be another security thing over there. And so
Mhm.
I feel like it's all just going to alleviate the one big security line. So I feel like it's just going to get easier.
So it's going to be a big win for us.
yeah.
Yes.
That's the consensus.
Good thought, Disney.
That's a very good thought, Disney. I'm looking forward to it. This is the month of Thanksgiving, and we don't have our Thank Tank this year. I'm sorry, Miss Bailey C. We just weren't on that, but it just popped in my head. But I think since it is, what is this, November 8th, we should all end each episode this month with something we're thankful for. I know. And ladies first.
Oh no! That's what I get for having feelings and commenting about that. I go, Mr. Dapp said, oh, you first.
How do you sound like?
Is that what I sound like?
Yeah. Was that it?
100%.
Can you do that one more time and we'll put it on loop?
Like, was that the tone?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's really similar.
Okay, cool.
Like, we're all hearing the same thing, right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So go ahead.
Oh man, I
You
want to.
vamped for like a minute. You should have.
Yeah.
time to
We
thank.
gave you so much time.
Uh,
She like threw up an SOS and we were there.
Yeah, we had your
You
back
guys,
on that.
you guys really were.
Yeah.
You guys are champs, and you're still doing it right now, which is what I realized.
Very effectively.
Don't reveal what's behind the curtain.
All right, so what are you thankful for, Katie?
Oh my gosh, I'm thankful for so much. I will start with. I moved my mic.
Yes, you did. Good job.
I am thankful for my cat Hamilton. I tweet about him all the time, but he is the tiny love of my life, and I am thankful to come home to him every day.
You can't use your cat now, sorry.
I'm not using my cat.
Okay, good.
My cat's a jerk. No, I love my cat.
So is
Oh.
Hi, cat.
when you're watching at home.
Next week on Geeks Corner, what happened to Cameron's face?
Scratch my soul across. I will be thankful for something in the geek spectrum, which is to say, long-living legacies. Specifically, I'm thankful that John Williams has been doing what he's been doing for as long as he has.
Real soundtracks?
Yeah, I know. Well, but not just real soundtracks, but that he can continue to put out so much diverse and iconic content for decades, and he's still doing it. And fun fact about John Williams, still writes everything down by hand.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It's insane.
Yeah, paper and
Yeah.
pencil
So
on a piano.
I'm thankful for John Williams.
Very good. And I'm going to be sentimental for a minute, and as I look at the Twitter, I'm going to be thankful for all of these people that come in and join us every Tuesday night to tweet at us ridiculous
Viewers like you.
it's ridiculous geeks, these fun memes and tweets and all this other stuff that I don't always understand, but that's okay because it's fun, and we're glad that you come back every week. But that is all the time we have for this week. Please feel free to subscribe to us. Make sure to leave us a comment or two. Tweet at us throughout the week with the hashtag Geeks Corner. But for now, we'll see you around the corner.